This is not an ordinary moment, nor is this an ordinary message, my dear child. Please listen carefully. Heaven has gotten closer than it has ever been. Archangel Michael is currently standing at the threshold of your life as God attempts to communicate with you. This must be done immediately. This is accurate. I'm concerned about this. If you choose to ignore this moment, something sacred will be silenced. No, this is not retribution. Rather, it is because divine windows do not always remain open. It's possible you're already experiencing it. Wow, an unusual pause in your emotional state. An intense combination of anticipation and oppression. The sensation that time has slowed just enough for you to notice. That's not an error. Heaven is preparing to let you hear the whispers, postponements, and upcoming revelations. According to Archangel Michael, this day was predetermined before you awoke. Today is not just a day for people to feel superficial love in the spiritual realm. This day represents alignment, selection, and reaction. This message is from God, as the outcome of your subsequent season is contingent upon your actions. Please take note of this. Heaven's silence is not abrupt. It develops gradually as people ignore warnings, nudges, and signs and say later instead of now. These are God's final opportunities to communicate with us. He is not panicked. Instead, He is eager to help. You have been following a consistent pattern in your life. Despite your inability to express it, you noticed it. There were numerous delays, disappointments, and nearly open doors that eventually closed. This isn't a fabrication. Archangel Michael claims that God has been attempting to guide you away from an entity that appears to be safe but is gradually eroding your destiny. This message is not appropriate for all individuals. It is intended for people who have been praying quietly and are unsure why they are not receiving immediate responses. It is intended for people who continue to postpone tasks that God has previously warned them about. It is intended for people who are spiritually alert, but emotionally fatigued. Archangel Michael informs you that heaven is currently communicating with you because you are at a crossroads. Despite the fact that it no longer sustains life, one path is familiar and thus comfortable. Even though the alternative path is ambiguous, it is permeated with divine support. God is urging you to make a decision now, not tomorrow or someday. Please consider the following information. Because God ceases to care, heaven does not become silent. When instructions are issued and a response is required, heaven falls silent. This is a moment of reaction. You may be saying, God, I am listening. However, I am unsure of what you want me to do. According to Archangel Michael, the confusion is not God's. The instructions have already been ingrained in your memory. You perceived it as resistance. You felt it as discomfort. You perceived it as an inner voice telling you that this cannot continue. You've avoided a conversation, justified a habit, and reopened a door that God had previously closed. The heavens are currently communicating in an attempt to disrupt that cycle. Do not take God's patience for permission. His patience is a form of protection, allowing you to come to terms with the situation before the consequences become apparent. This is not intended to instill fear in you. It is designed to arouse you. Archangel Michael is the protector of clarity and truth. He does not arrive with a message of condemnation. He will arrive with a direction. He claims that God is calling you to return to the promises He has already made to you. In the present, your obedience is linked to something significant. Delays will be eliminated. A spiritual stumbling block will be overcome, substantial fluctuations will occur. However, this is subject to the message being received and acted upon. It's possible that you've recently felt disconnected from God, as if your prayers are hitting a ceiling. Archangel Michael informs us that heaven has not abandoned you. Alignment improves clarity while maintaining signal strength, reestablishing the flow of obedience. Today, there is a spiritual checkpoint, and heaven awaits your decision to lean in or turn away. God isn't shouting. He communicates with clarity, composure, and authority. He wants your attention, not complete perfection. This message was delivered to you because you were able to hear it. You are still not that far away. You have not been overlooked, and you are being cherished while being cautioned. Please do not scroll past this point on the page. Please don't see this as another opportunity to be motivated. According to Archangel Michael, this is a divine interruption. To initiate a more favorable outcome, you must change your lifestyle. Inhale deeply. Set aside your thoughts. Simply request one thing from God. Please notify me of the information you want to display. Then muster the courage to listen, for heaven is speaking. I'm looking for you to express yourself right now. This moment is far more significant than you may realize. Before we begin, please type Amen in the comments section. Not as an automatic response, but as an option for agreeing with heaven. Your affirmation is a response to heaven's request for you today. When you type, you are doing more than just writing a word on a screen. You are concluding a spiritual agreement that states, God, I am attentive and ready to respond. Begin by taking the first step toward obedience. Allow your spirit to relax as you listen, my chosen one, because the information being conveyed is not superficial. While many people hear God's voice, only a small number understand His urgency when He speaks. Today, according to Archangel Michael, is not a replica of heaven. What you are hearing is the continuation of a divine conversation that began prior to the transmission of this message. A subtle tension has been building in your life. You may not have been able to express it in words, but you were aware of it through your prayers, late-night reflections, and the fact that certain things no longer provide you with the same sense of calm as they once did. According to Archangel Michael, this tension is not the result of confusion. It is a divine pressure urging you to gain clarity. God is attempting to discern between what is familiar and what is faithful. God is currently communicating with us because a specific event has gone on for longer than expected. God has already set you free from something to which you have been loyal. You continued to believe that it would improve, change, or suddenly align once more. However, heaven does not bestow blessings on things it has already warned you about. This is why the voice of God is so strong today. Instruction, rather than comfort, is sometimes the sound of love. Archangel Michael reveals that heaven has been sending confirmations through subtle signs, repeated words, unplanned pauses, disrupted routines, and even instances where plans fell apart for no apparent reason. These weren't impediments. They were divine delays designed to keep your attention. God slowed the pace of events so that you could hear Him clearly. Understand this. Refusing to acknowledge God is not always a sign of rebellion. Sometimes it appears to be a diversion. Occasionally, it appears that one is emotionally exhausted, overwhelmed, or preoccupied. However, the difference between avoidance and inability is well understood. Today, God is gently but unmistakably urging you to give up your avoidance. God desires that you approach this situation with candor. The truth is that you have been softening. You have relaxed a boundary, a decision you've been putting off because it's uncomfortable. According to Archangel Michael, the discomfort you are feeling is not a sign of danger. It is an attempt to spark growth. Heaven would not fall silent because God's love for you had ceased. Action would be required because instruction has been provided on numerous occasions. Mercy speaks repeatedly, and then there is silence. This is why the message is significant. Mercy is once again speaking. You are not forced to succumb to fear. You are receiving an invitation to a state of alignment. Wow. God does not request dramatic gestures. He is requesting obedience in a specific domain that you are already familiar with. When you say yes internally, something changes externally. Archangel Michael informs you that you are currently being protected. Despite its apparent seriousness, this message is veiled in grace. Heaven is communicating with you to save you from suffering unnecessary heartbreak, delay, and loss. Consider the causes of your recent exhaustion for a moment. What makes you feel weighed down instead of energized? What drives you to abandon your tranquility? These are not insignificant indicators. These are divine signs. Your spirit is able to respond to this message. Perfection is not required of God. He requests awareness. He is imploring you to stop numbing the very thing he is trying to awaken. Please pay close attention, as this is extremely important. If you find this message to be meaningful, please share it with others. Interact with it. Let the heavens know you're paying attention. Please take a moment to like this video so that it reaches others who are at the same crossroads. Share it with a friend or acquaintance who is experiencing spiritual unrest. Leave a comment as a sign of agreement, not for individuals, but in response to God. If this space has been nourishing your spirit, please subscribe so that you do not miss the next release from heaven. In addition, if you have not yet subscribed, now is the time. Subscribing isn't as easy as clicking a button. It is the manifestation of prophetic alignment. You are informing God that you are preparing for His upcoming release. By subscribing, you agree to a continuous flow of divine guidance. You are expressing that you do not want to miss the message that heaven is sending. Execute the action instantly. To join this prophetic community, click the subscribe button. You are not helping an algorithm when you engage. You're conforming to the message. Archangel Michael believes that movement is crucial right now. Even the smallest responses demonstrate preparation. Heaven responds to engagement, not indifference. God wishes to disclose additional information, which is a continuation of what you are currently hearing. It is not wise to pull away or engage in multitasking at this time. Please be patient, as the following information will provide you with the answers you have been looking for quite some time. Maintain your awareness. Your discernment is being honed, and the subsequent revelation is directly relevant to the decision you are about to make. I'd like to take a moment to reflect on this because you're thinking about someone right now. A family member, a friend, or an individual who is having difficulty hearing the voice of God. Heaven is urging you to be the conduit through which this message is delivered to them. Please share this video immediately. Sharing content is about more than just passing it along. You are activating the anointing of breakthrough in your personal life. When you assist another person in hearing God, heaven ensures that you hear Him more clearly. Share it right away and see how quickly your own breakthrough occurs. Archangel Michael has stated that the current situation explains why heaven has been tolerant of you. I implore you, my beloved, to embrace this with an open heart. It is not about developing a fear of silence, to protect against future losses. Just as the pressure was mounting around your destiny, God intervened, as something unseen was approaching a point of no return. You've been experiencing two spiritual frequencies simultaneously. Individuals are emotionally secure, predictable, and familiar. Dealing with an unknown person requires trust and surrender. According to Archangel Michael, your spiritual restlessness stems from the fact that your soul has already aligned, but your actions have not fully reflected this alignment. That inner tension is the sound of alignment striving to be complete. The season of subtle suggestions is coming to an end. Therefore, God is currently communicating. This does not mean that judgment is imminent. This implies that clarification is imminent. Heaven's clamor will never stop until the truth is revealed. That moment of simple truth is present. You are being instructed to halt negotiations in light of God's statements. You continue to beg God to restore peace in a specific area of your life, but you keep returning to the factors that exacerbate the problem. According to Archangel Michael, peace is lacking because obedience has been postponed, not because God has withheld it. The flow has resumed as a result of his revelation. Pay close attention to the subsequent events. Do not believe that you are obligated to address every issue immediately. He wishes for you to give up one item that is impeding the progress of many other matters. One relationship, one repeated pattern, one compromised boundary, or a way of thinking that you continue to hold on to, despite the fact that it undermines your faith. The voice from heaven is informing you of this, because you need more clarity about your future. It is impossible to bring confusion into the following season. Beyond this point, heaven's silence would be dangerous because it would indicate that instruction had been ignored for an extended period of time, allowing natural consequences to demonstrate the risks of obedience. Archangel Michael says that a breakthrough is closer than you think. However, frustration stems from proximity without alignment. This is why God is preventing you from moving forward today. It is not to impede your progress, but rather to ensure that you are ready. You may have wondered why some prayers sit for an extended period of time while others are immediately answered. Heaven responds most quickly when obedience is demonstrated. In surrender, God wants you to give Him your entire heart, not just a portion of it. Partial obedience causes delays in blessings and leaves doors open. Allow this truth to slowly sink in. Heaven's silence is never the first action. Humans are notoriously hesitant. God converses and then waits. Please confirm and continue to wait. This message serves as a confirmation. Heaven continues to function because of your ability to hear. According to Archangel Michael, the subsequent action will appear to be smaller than anticipated. However, its impact will exceed your expectations. However, it is obvious to the heavens. Don't fight the powerful emotions that may arise as you read this. That is not indicative of weakness. This is the definition of recognition. You are aware that this message is correct because there is a current change in the atmosphere. An item is being damaged. I'd like you to reaffirm that truth with a declaration if it's become ingrained in you. Please leave feedback in the comments section. The voice of heaven is conveyed to me. Use your faith rather than just your fingers. Writing is more than just typing words. You're building an altar of consensus. You are informing God that you will not leave this moment unchanged. The voice of heaven is conveyed to me. Take notes right away. It is now time to consciously accept this blessing. When I type comments, I hear the voice of heaven. If you believe this message is coming from your spirit, then you have received the blessing code 444. If my voice is being used to help you hear God more clearly today, please understand. Backing this mission does not imply support for a channel. Assist in transmitting the divine message to another person who is in the same location as you. I believe it is critical that I disclose this information to you in its entirety. As you go through this awakening, remember that your assistance with this endeavor is not a hoax. It's a heavenly omen. By doing so, you become a part of Jesus' plan to rescue souls who are still lost in darkness. Each seed evolves into a source of light, combating the existence of darkness. Jesus claims that by giving water to others, you will receive it yourself. This isn't historical. It is an ongoing commitment to your future. Approach this situation with a strategy and faith. Giving can help you realize the potential that God has already built for your life. Allow this truth to dawn on you over time, beloved child. As stated by Archangel Michael, the information below will provide a comprehensive explanation of the consequences of obedience. Many people are concerned about the possible consequences of heaven ceasing to communicate. However, the majority of people do not think about the potential consequences of heaven's final declaration. This is the true beginning of the transformation. When you first respond to God, things don't always change immediately. Occasionally, the change is so minute that it is difficult to notice. Nonetheless, alignment causes movement in realms invisible to the naked eye. Archangel Michael explains that when you say yes to God within, your assignments change, your delays are eliminated, and your resistance begins to diminish. Regardless of whether you want immediate results, heaven usually begins by restoring order. Peace is restored first, and then progress follows. Clarity is required prior to confirmation. This is intended to happen, not to be postponed. God reconstructs the foundations before revealing the results. You are currently undergoing a spiritual recalibration. Things that were once heavy will start to appear distant. What once perplexed you will no longer do so. According to Archangel Michael, heaven responds to obedience in the following order: protection and provision. It is critical that you understand a specific point. When you align with God, those around you will not notice the change right away. Several people took advantage of your uncertainty. Uncertainty can exacerbate certain situations. When clarity is achieved, resistance usually stems from what you no longer have access to, rather than from God. This is why you may feel emotional resistance after deciding to listen to God. Do not interpret this as proof that you were wrong. It suggests that you were successful. The light disturbs what is well hidden in the shadows. According to Archangel Michael, distractions are being removed from your life in heaven. Certain activities that once required your attention will gradually lose significance. Conversations will undergo changes. The priorities will be reorganized. It's not a loss. This is the process of refinement. As you enter this season, your sense of discernment grows stronger. You will be able to recognize when something is out of alignment without the need for lengthy explanations. God is teaching you to recognize peace rather than just possibilities. Throughout this process, be patient with yourself. Alignment does not eliminate emotions. You may continue to feel nostalgic for the things that God has asked you to let go. This does not imply that you should go back to it. Instructions are not conveyed using emotions. They are indicators that are currently under repair. I'd appreciate it if you could stop for a moment. If you are willing to let those old emotions heal rather than serve as a guide, I encourage you to make that decision right now. Please write Amen in the comments section. This isn't a religious matter. The topic of this discussion is release. Allow the sound of your amen to represent the release of the possessions you have been holding on to. This diminutive term has immense spiritual significance. Your approval should be heard by the heavens. Please enter the information at this time. Amen. Your willingness to listen is appreciated by God. Your attention has already directed the attention of heaven toward you, despite the fact that you have not yet acted fully, asserts Archangel Michael. Preparation precedes posture, and posture provides access that prayer cannot. There will be times when you question whether the decision was correct. Remember this when such occasions arise. When God summons you from an activity, He has already planned an alternative. There is no area where you can enter. You are making progress toward alignment. The trust you and God had is now at rest in heaven. Consistency will restore confidence in areas where doubt has arisen due to delays. You'll be able to hear and trust God's voice more easily. According to Archangel Michael, what was once considered a burden will soon be viewed as a boundary. The entity who drained you will no longer have access to you. This is the result of obedience, or freedom disguised as restraint. Your spirit may be more sensitive than usual. This is not indicative of weakness. This is the process of refinement. Those that God prepares are honed. During this time, it is critical to remain vigilant. Obedience is more than just one decision. It's a posture. Every minor decision serves to reinforce alignment. Every act of trust contributes to greater clarity. There has been no silence in heaven. In reality, it has become increasingly likely. God communicates in a different way when trust is restored. Less warning, more direction. Less urgency, greater assurance. Archangel Michael watches over your progress as you move forward, ensuring that you navigate the current transition successfully. You are not the only person going through this. You are provided with assistance, guidance, and protection. Please allow this to permeate your emotional state. You did not pass up your opportunity. You quickly responded. Furthermore, as a result of your attentiveness, the events that follow will go more smoothly than you expected. The third section. Embrace this gently, my beloved, as Archangel Michael informs you that you are entering a period of adjustment rather than confusion. Transition is commonly misunderstood as instability, but in heaven it is known as repositioning. When you respond to God's voice, the ground beneath you shifts to support your destination. The change may be unexpected, but it is deliberate. You may have noticed that your tolerance for certain items has increased. Your peace is now disturbed by something you previously overlooked. You had previously justified what now appears to be a burden. Archangel Michael insists that this is not the result of a judgmental spirit within you. It involves the active development of discernment. God is teaching you to differentiate between what is appropriate for your future and what is solely assigned to your past. This is also a time when God resets your expectations. You may have expected a breakthrough in a single dramatic moment, but heaven frequently provides transformation through consistent clarity. Every morning you wake up with a feeling of lightness, clarity, and stability. That is advancement. Please don't disregard it. There will be instances where old patterns attempt to resurface. Well-known thoughts will be heard. And then, familiar emotions will try to reintroduce you to cycles you've already outgrown. Archangel Michael says this isn't a failure. This is the final examination of boundaries. What is no longer appropriate will try to show that it still belongs. Stand your ground without resorting to violence. You are not required to argue with anything that God has already removed authority from. Consistency and silence are more effective than any explanation. Furthermore, God is restoring your trust in His ability to communicate. You may notice a rapid return to tranquility after a prayer. Show the extent to which specific decisions are viewed as settled. This is not a product of your imagination. This is the process of restoring trust between you and heaven. In the background of your life, Archangel Michael reveals that something new is quietly forming. Although it does not yet have a name, shape, or timeline, its existence is real. God frequently prepares outcomes before announcing them. Construction is the source of the feeling of waiting. Do not rush this step. Rushing frequently recreates old mistakes under new labels. God is telling you to proceed with wisdom rather than haste. Haste is unnecessary where heaven leads. You may also want to be more intentional about protecting your energy. Time alone may feel nurturing rather than lonely. This is not a withdrawal. It is a restoration. God is strengthening your inner foundation so that future responsibilities will not overwhelm you. According to Archangel Michael, relationships will gradually reveal their true alignment. Certain people will gain a deeper understanding without exertion. Some will dissipate without any argument. Allow this to occur without drawing any conclusions. Manipulation is unnecessary for alignment. You are developing a quiet confidence right now. You may not express it, but you are aware of it. God has matured you through patience, not pressure, by recognizing that you are no longer the same person who struggled in uncertainty. This is easily understandable. No, heaven doesn't bring you this far only to abandon you halfway through. Subtle guidance has replaced the previously feared silence. God is instructing you to recognize His voice without anxiety. You are learning to listen instead of rushing, to pause instead of making assumptions, and to respond rather than react. These are indicators of spiritual development, not postponement. Archangel Michael has informed you that you are currently under particularly strong protection. Even minor errors are corrected with gentleness. This is an illustration of grace in action. Keep faith in the process. Walking the next step does not require viewing the entire image. God provides the information you need at the right time. Maintain your eagerness, humility, and attention. Heaven continues to communicate assurance rather than caution. The consistency you are currently developing will be required for the next phase, which you are gradually preparing for. Chosen one, stay present, as Archangel Michael claims that the current phase you are entering is a time when many people lose focus, not because they are vulnerable, but because things are finally settling down. Discipline is required as the crisis subsides. The test is consistency when clarity returns. Heaven is teaching you not only how to hear God, but also how to walk with Him on a daily basis. At the moment, your spirit is acquiring rhythm, not urgency or panic. Tempo. God is calling you to a life of obedience motivated by relationship rather than fear of silence. This is a more profound topic. At this point, faith begins to develop. You may have noticed that the external signs are now audibly quieter. Less emotional intensity means fewer dramatic confirmations. This does not mean that heaven has taken a step back. It implies that God is more confident in you. According to Archangel Michael, God communicates with those who have shown a willingness to listen. A more subtle direction with fewer repetitions. This is also when distractions try to resurface, albeit in a subtle rather than aggressive manner. Minor delays and compromises. I will finish it at a later time. Any thoughts? The way you manage clarity is being observed by heaven. The actions you take with peace are just as important as those you take with warning. Be careful not to romanticize the previous season. You did not go through that for nothing. It was there that you learned to discern. Dependence developed during that time. It is critical that you do not return to a situation that God has already helped you overcome simply for the sake of comfort. Archangel Michael has stated that your prayers are currently being transformed. It's possible that you'll gain more trust and make fewer requests. So, you do more active listening than active speaking. That's expansion. You are growing into someone who does not need constant assurance to follow God's rules. However, this is a situation in which community and reinforcement are essential. It was never intended that individuals engage in religious activities on their own. This is why you continue to receive messages of this nature. Not to replace your relationship with God, but to strengthen it. If these messages have confirmed the work that God is already doing within you, you must respond accordingly. By liking this video, you can help ensure that it reaches someone who is going through the same thing as you. If you know someone who needs clarity but can't find the words, please share this with them. Please leave a comment indicating your agreement. It is more significant than you may realize. Additionally, if you have not already done so, please subscribe right away to ensure that you stay up to date on the content that Heaven continues to produce. The present moment is of extreme importance. If you haven't already, please subscribe. By subscribing, you indicate your agreement with God's prophetic promises for your life. It implies that I am ready for the alignment that Heaven will bring. Each time a new word is introduced, you will be linked. No, you will not disappear gracefully. You will remain in the same position beneath the open window of heaven. Clicking subscribe will immediately confirm your alignment. When you participate, you become part of a larger entity. Movement strengthens dedication. According to Archangel Michael, responding outward reinforces God's work inward. The struggle does not always end immediately when you comply. It can indicate which areas require additional healing. It is possible that old wounds resurface. Fears from the past could be heard whispering. Avoid becoming anxious. It is common for the process of improvement to manifest before eventually disappearing. God is willing to wait for this to happen. He does not assess you based on your speed. He evaluates you according to your readiness. So, you may develop a greater desire for the truth. Even when the truth hurts, hunger is holy. Avoid obscuring it with excessive noise, unnecessary interruptions, or unwarranted opinions. Archangel Michael informs us that Heaven is preparing you for your upcoming responsibilities. Not a burden, but a responsibility. Something has been entrusted. Something significant. This is why your discipline is becoming more robust. You are developing the ability to decline without remorse, pause without fear, and wait without anxiety. This is not a minor accomplishment. They indicate the growth of your internal authority. Be mindful of the influences that shape your thoughts. The direction of familiarity shifts as a result of repeated listening. Choose inputs that correspond to the direction in which God is directing you. Drifting is not an option at the moment. Anchoring is currently the most appropriate course of action. Your transformation requires stability. Hold on, because the events that follow will show how important this preparation is, as well as the subtle preparations that Heaven is making for you. Beloved one, lean in with comprehension, for Archangel Michael asserts that this stage distinguishes between those who briefly encounter God's voice and those who are transformed by it. You're not just responding to the divine's words anymore. You are gaining the ability to transport it. To convey the truth requires strength, patience, and restraint. You are currently experiencing a deeper sense of tranquility. Although it is not always thrilling, it is still potent. This tranquility is not the same as emptiness. It represents the establishment of authority. God is teaching you how to move without haste and wait, without becoming weak. These are skills, not delays. Certain people may no longer recognize you as they used to. This is not due to any negative changes in your personality, but rather because you no longer respond from the same emotional place. According to Archangel Michael, this indicates that growth has taken root. When you no longer follow those patterns, they lose their hold on you. The theme for this season is refinement. God is gradually reducing the intensity of your previously controllable reactions. He is replacing impulsive behaviors with discernment. You are now comfortable with the idea of remaining silent rather than feeling obligated to provide an explanation. Fear is no longer linked to silence. Confidence. Additionally, an internal strengthening process is underway. You may find that you are less willing to compromise in order to maintain your comfort, less bothered by opinions, and less influenced by pressure. This does not indicate a hardened heart. The Spirit's essential quality is stability. Archangel Michael reveals that heaven is preparing you to stand firm when others are uncertain, not to dominate or instruct loudly, but to remain grounded. Your presence will serve as a testimony. Although you may not understand the importance of this level of stability right now, you will soon realize it. God does not reinforce foundations without the intention of building upwards. The internal transformation you are undergoing aligns with the external responsibilities you will be given. There may still be cases of uncertainty. Disbelief is not the same as doubt. It means that your intellect is catching up with your spirit. When there is doubt, do not argue aggressively. Return to the confirmation that God has already given. Repeating the truth strengthens one's resolve. According to Archangel Michael, your discernment is now more effective at detecting opportunities. The existence of a God option is not guaranteed. You are developing the ability to trust your instincts rather than what appears to be advantageous. This will prevent further exhaustion. Keep in mind that temptation frequently manifests in a different way as clarity grows. It may not be immediately clear that it is out of alignment. It could appear to be a matter of business, tension, or overexertion. Watch over your time with as much care as you do your heart. God is instructing you to rest without feeling guilty. Avoiding rest is not synonymous with rest. This is the definition of preparation. Even heaven took a break after its creation. Taking a break greatly improves your vision. You are starting to feel a subtle sense of happiness. Peace is built on trust, not excitement based on outcomes. This joy is unaffected by the circumstances. You have it when you recognize that you are in alignment. Archangel Michael claims that heaven is pleased with your calm, despite the fact that the full picture is not yet visible. You are not requesting responses. You are proceeding with diligence and utilizing your understanding. That stance encourages a deeper revelation. It's possible that you're having the sensation of certain doors slowly closing without resistance. Allow them to do this. It is not intended that what closes peacefully be forced to reopen. God eliminates strain before removing access. Maintain awareness of your internal reactions. When a decision is made, you will notice a sense of calm. Pause when a thought is followed by heaviness. Your spirit has developed into a reliable compass. This phase is not meant to draw any conclusions. It refers to achieving consistency. Consistency fosters trust, which then encourages accountability. In the near future, clarity will turn into direction. Not unexpected, not overwhelming, but evident. And when it does, you will be able to recognize it because it will be consistent with the stability that God has been developing within you. Maintain your composure. Stay vigilant. Heaven continues to guide you in a precise rather than urgent manner. My beloved child, please handle this with caution, as Archangel Michael has stated that this is when heaven begins to reveal the reason for your extensive refinement. What was previously thought to be unintentional preparation is now approached with intent. God never gives an individual strength unintentionally. The experiences you've had were not solely intended to help you recover. It was for your position. You may begin to notice a subtle desire to accept responsibility. Not ambition or pressure, but a strong inner belief that you are meant to carry something significant. This could take the form of influence, leadership, intercession, guidance, or simply maintaining a consistent presence in previously chaotic areas. According to Archangel Michael, heaven is not hastening this revelation because it needs to be established on solid ground, which is currently being formed within you. Now observe how you react to uncertainty differently. Anxiety was previously caused by uncertainty. However, it is now associated with awareness. You're more attentive. You have a greater tendency to pause. You maintain your composure and avoid spiraling. The incident is not accidental. God is instructing you to rely on His timing without constant explanation. You're also developing a deeper sense of compassion. You've gained a new perspective on individuals. You used to make snap decisions. Now you take your time. Previously, you responded emotionally. Now you respond thoughtfully. Archangel Michael informs you that this compassion is part of your responsibilities. The message of hell cannot be spread without the heart of hell. Be careful not to underestimate the magnitude of this transformation. Many people are capable of speaking the truth. However, fewer can do so without causing harm to others. God is allowing you to grow into a person who is firm yet gentle, clear and kind. The only way to achieve this equilibrium is to refine. You may continue to have moments when you feel no one is recognizing or celebrating your progress. Heaven can see it with great clarity because public recognition would impede private development. Certain seasons are kept under wraps. What God creates in silence lasts for an extended time. Your protection is increasing, according to Archangel Michael. Certain issues that were previously bothering you will now be resolved prior to your contact. Not all temptations will be as effective as they once were. You are not evading them. Simply put, authority has replaced vulnerability. However, it is critical to remember that authority does not imply separation from God. It entails having a greater reliance on another person. Stay in touch. Continue to listen. Show humility. The link must remain intact for your strength to continue to flow. Obedience appears more natural and less coerced. This demonstrates that alignment has become an integral part of your personality rather than just the result of your choices. God rejoices at this stage because it indicates an increase in trust. It will happen with more clarity and less resistance. However, there is still more to come. A warning used to suffice. However, wisdom is now required. When hearts are at peace, heaven does not need to shout. This is a time for spiritual reflection. Archangel Michael has declared that a boundary has been breached by not regressing, but rather progressing. You are no longer the same person you were before receiving this message. Accept this prophetic activation immediately. If this message resonates with your spirit, please indicate in the comments section that you are in agreement with heaven. The blessing code 818 has been transmitted to you. As this message becomes ingrained in your being, I am compelled to engage in direct dialogue with those who are in agreement with this mission. When you endorse this work, you are not advocating for a particular viewpoint. You are assisting God in maintaining a clear signal in heaven for souls who genuinely desire to avoid missing His time. My current conversation is with you. When you give, you are actually planting a seed in living soil. Currently, the Word of God states that those who sow generously will also receive generously, and obedience that moves quickly is rewarded in heaven. You are on the verge of entering a fortunate future. Don't forget that this message doesn't end with your deeds. Users may use your invention to achieve their destinations. Every seed you sow grows into oil for your future, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. My sweetheart, the moment has come for you. Have faith, and you will see God multiply the possessions you relinquish. As you receive this beloved one, remain centered, as Archangel Michael has indicated that this is the point at which alignment begins to emanate from you. Up until this point, God has been primarily at work within you. A subtle but significant change occurred recently. Your inner alignment has the power to transform the world around you without requiring any effort or intention. This is how heaven moves through prepared vessels. You may notice that people respond to you in various ways. Some people will be attracted to you without knowing why. Certain people may feel anxious or hostile. This is not the result of any external modifications you've made. The reason is that clarity is essential. Peace gives rise to authority. Alignment stifles the growth of that which thrives in confusion. According to Archangel Michael, God frequently employs individuals who are willing to help maintain stability in unstable areas. Wisdom can emerge unexpectedly during a conversation. The words flow easily and without the need for practice. Despite the fact that you are not offering advice, there is guidance present. This realization did not come from within. This is an overflow. Avoid retreating during this phase. Some people withdraw as their influence grows due to a fear of responsibility. However, ensure that you understand this. You are not being asked to relieve the burdens of others, or to rescue or repair them. All that is required of you is to remain in alignment. That stance naturally carries influence. God desires to teach you an important lesson. To be genuine, growth does not need to be expressed. The fruit speaks for itself. Heaven's influence is a silent one. Its tranquility is guaranteed. Additionally, there may be times when others place their expectations on you. They may assume that you have responses that are not intended for public consumption. This is where boundaries matter, declares Archangel Michael. When you wield too much power, you exhaust your available resources. Maintain a keen awareness of your tranquility. You continue to be guided by peace. During this season, discernment becomes a relationship-related concept. You will understand when it is appropriate to speak and when to remain silent, when to engage and when to disengage. Not every situation requires action. Sometimes the mere presence of a person is sufficient. Certain relationships may naturally transition during this stage. There will be those who delve deeper, as alignment leads to greater alignment. Growth can be intimidating for people who are resistant to change, so some may choose to distance themselves. Please allow this to happen without getting angry. Release with no resistance. You are not abandoned by God. He says He is repositioning you. Those who are supposed to accompany you in the coming season will notice your composure. Heaven is currently instructing you on the importance of stewardship of influence, says Archangel Michael. Responsibility, not reach, is the metric used to assess influence. The manner in which you listen is important. The manner in which you respond is critical. The manner in which you protect your spirit is critical. You may notice that you are less reactive than before. Things that would have previously upset you now happen without incident. This isn't indifference. It is about emotional authority. Authority is established internally before it is recognized externally. Your perception of conflict is also becoming more refined. You are no longer in a hurry to resolve all issues. You acknowledge that certain issues can be resolved by remaining aligned. This conserves energy and promotes peace. God is also evaluating your desires. What was once urgent may now seem superfluous. What was once deemed important may now appear to be optional. This does not indicate a breakdown in enthusiasm. It is the purification of focus. Archangel Michael reveals that heaven is protecting you from overexertion. Currently, opportunities may arise. However, not all are allocated. You are developing the ability to prioritize depth over distractions. This restraint can be trusted. It is preparing you for a task that requires sustained attention rather than scattered attention. When there is no clear direction, you may feel a sense of anticipation. This is typical. Anticipation suggests readiness, not urgency. In order to avoid misalignment, God frequently allows readiness to fully mature before releasing direction. Maintain a sense of stability. Continue listening. Maintain your preference for calm over anxiety. You are not living in a state of uncertainty. You are now in a state of readiness. Heaven's current transformation will soon necessitate expression, but it will be delivered clearly rather than ambiguously. Remain silent, for it is in silence that authority is established. The process of unfolding continues. Your development is now being optimized. You may notice that the days are less intense, more normal, and contain fewer spiritual highs and emotional lows than previously. This does not imply a state of stagnation. It indicates a state of equilibrium. God is showing you how to walk with Him without relying on constant intensity. Faith that endures without drama is faith that survives. Archangel Michael reveals that heaven is watching your behavior on routine occasions, your thoughts when no one is present, and your reactions when there is no significant event. This is the point at which maturity is evident. Discipline is tranquil, whereas breakthrough is thrilling. There may be times when you wonder if something is missing due to a lack of urgency. Don't confuse peace with absence. When obedience becomes second nature, God often relieves the sense of urgency. Wisdom now facilitates what was previously required caution. Keep in mind this phase. This is the point where subtle distractions try to divert attention. Shifts that appear innocent, rather than obvious temptations. Reduced prayer, decreased attention, and increased mental chatter. It is perceptive, but heaven is not concerned. Archangel Michael believes that this is the point at which intentionality is critical. Return to your source of stability. Maintain moments of tranquility. Maintain a connection to the truth that will keep your spirit strong. You are learning to maintain alignment throughout your daily routine. This is extremely potent. Routine obedience creates unshakable foundations. Simultaneously, heaven continues to strengthen you through mutual confirmation and community. This is why you are still receiving this message. Reinforcement strengthens resolve, not because you are deficient. If this message has been with you on this journey, now is the time to take an active role in responding. Please like this video so that it can continue to reach those who are quietly listening for God. Share it with someone who may be drifting without knowing it. Leave a comment confirming your agreement. It acts as an anchor for intention. It is critical to stay connected during these seasons, so if you have not already subscribed, do so right away. Engagement is more than just a form of assistance. It's emotion-based alignment. Archangel Michael believes that participation reinforces clarity. Heaven responds to your movements. Now listen carefully. Rigidity is not the same as consistency. God is not asking you to take a strict or mechanical approach. He is asking that you keep your awareness. Awareness is what sustains obedience. In addition, you may have noticed that your discernment has improved. You detect misalignment at an early stage before it develops into confusion. This is the formation of wisdom. I am grateful to God for this. Early discernment prevents late-life regret. Others may question your stability from time to time. People may claim that you have undergone a transformation. Yes, you have achieved equilibrium. Do not allow misunderstandings to hold you back. Those who are familiar with your previous habits may experience discomfort as a result of growth. Archangel Michael declares that heaven is pleased with your composure. It is unnecessary to express every thought aloud. You do not have to respond to every emotion. Individuals who are capable of pausing gain authority. You're also learning how to stay calm while waiting. Waiting is no longer seen as a punishment. It appears to serve some purpose. This implies that fear has been replaced with trust. Continue to wait for a short period. God usually allows consistency to establish itself before providing the next level of guidance. Hurried transitions result in unpredictable outcomes. Furthermore, it is advantageous to show more appreciation at this time. Gratitude keeps a fluid, not rigid alignment. I appreciate the clarity that God has given me. Gratitude preserves one's humility. The next act of unfolding is closer than you think. Although it may appear that there is little activity during this phase, work is being done. Heaven is encasing an object within you to prevent its subsequent movement. This consistency is critical, and the following section will show how heaven helps you move from preparation to expression. According to Archangel Michael, this is the point at which preparation transforms into readiness.